Hello friends, Sherry here, and today I am going to work on this week's Hip Kit Club challenge. And the challenge is to use, one of the points of the challenge is to use 2 wallet-size photos and 1 larger photo. So what instantly came to mind for me was my son's middle school pictures. I just wanted to share with you, this is how I have handled the first page of my children's school albums. This was my son's the first page to his elementary album. What I did, I just took a photo from each year and put the grade next to it. And I love the fact that when I open up their school albums, I can see the change from that sweet little baby face to the 5th grader. And so I did that for my son's album. And here you can see I did it also with my daughter's album. So I've decided I think I'm going to go ahead and do the same concept with the middle school album. So what I have are these 3 photos. Now granted, they will not all be the same size, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me. I'm going to mix it up a bit. So this will be the starting point of my layout this week. And also for part of the challenge, we had to use basically gray and white and 1 other color. Since I'm not going to change the background of that, I'm going to pretend that's just a neutral background and there's nothing I can do about it. So what I've decided, I'm going to use gray and white and pick up some of the red from my son's shirt, which is also the school colors. So what I did, I had strips of these papers left, and I decided that I was going to make a little bit of a pattern out of them, so I just cut them in half. And my general concept, I think, is that I'm just going to start out with something along these lines. I'm not quite sure where this layout's going to take me, but we'll find out together. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you how I started this process for this layout today. Okay, another part of the challenge was to use a pattern die cut. So I went to my Silhouette and cut out this little A+ die cut. I cut it out of vellum because we had to use vellum on the layout also. So now I'm kind of rethinking the way I'm going to do this. As I started playing around, I'm thinking I may do something along these lines, but now I also want the A+ to stand out a little bit and not be so subtle. So what I'm going to do is take some barn door distress ink and ink the back of the vellum so that it pulls in that color. And I won't bore you with the whole process, but I will get started on it, and then I will come back when, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this all inked up, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so here is the vellum die cut. Stamped from behind with the distress ink, and I actually dried it off. I tried to dry it a little bit with my heat gun to set that color a little bit because that distress ink doesn't want to dry very quickly on vellum. So anyway, I'm thrilled with the way this turned out. I just love the way that pops off of there. And now I have to decide what I'm going to do here. Okay, starting out here, I have, I searched through my Hip Kit Club kits and couldn't find the perfect shade of red that I needed for my layout, so I dug through my stash and found this American Crafts chevron paper that was just perfect. So here I'm just trimming off my white cardstock, and as you can see, I cut out the middle portion of that so that I could use that later to mat the photo with. During the filming of this video, I kept getting distracted. My son is taking his state testing this week in middle school, and they get done early, and so the texting starts, "Please come get me, Mom, please come get me." And every time as I'm filming these videos, I do it on my camera, so each time I get interrupted, I have to check and see who's calling. And then my husband called, so I have a few blunders on this video. Please forgive me. First one being this little adorable die cut that's supposed to be A+. I actually adhere it down with +A. And the funny thing is, I did not even realize it. I mean, I even took photos of the layout, and I didn't realize it until I started watching the video, and I'm like, what? +A? What's that? So anyway, after I film this and catch it, I thankfully, since it was vellum, it didn't adhere down like a typical plain paper would, so I was able to pull it all up and reattach it, thank goodness. Anyway, so here I am starting to get the basic foundation for the layout. The easiest way I found to adhere intricate die cuts like this is to use spray adhesive. So here I am with my Elmer's adhesive, and I apologize, for some reason this tiny little section of the video is upside down. Just another bonus brought to you today by the crazy crafting world of Sherry C. So anyway, I'm struggling to get that lined up exactly how I want it, but eventually I do, even though it's upside down. I just crack myself up sometimes just going, how could I not have noticed that? But anyway, now I am taking more of that paper, and I decided I'm just going to mat the largest photo. Here I'm just getting some number stickers to indicate each year the grade that he's in. And the funny thing is, there's really not a lot of difference between 6th and 7th. It almost looks like the exact same pose, but I could really see a difference in him in his school photo this year. He just looked more grown up and really confident, and it was just kind of fun to see that. Oh, and full disclosure here, that A+, don't be deceived by that. Even though my son has the ability to make straight A's, he does not. So I'm using my artistic freedom here, and I'm calling this like A+ kid or something to that effect, because this by no means is an indication of his report card, sadly. Anyway, I don't know why I struggled here to for the placement. Sometimes it's just the silly little things. I kept thinking, I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to put the title, so I'm playing around a little bit with that. And also I used some of the LE Studio Sienna paper to mat the photo with. And here are those adorable, oh my gosh, I love these stickers, Amy Tangerine Alex stickers. Part of the challenge was that we had to use chipboard and something shiny, and I was like, oh my gosh, here we go, this is perfect. It has a little silver metallic stripe in it, so it just fit the bill perfectly. I love it on a challenge when I can knock out more than one item with an element. So here I'm finally committing to my title, and I think I love those stickers so much. I'd like to have another stack of those, another pack of those, and maybe in other colors. So here it's just a simple title. This obviously, this is for my son's school album, so I don't like to make them too artistic and too crazy. I like to keep it simple. And what you saw me doing there, I was just doing a checklist. I write down all the things that are required for the challenge, so I'm just checking through. Here I'm just putting down the initials of the school, and basically this is about it. I decided that it still needed a little something, so I took that adorable little diamond LE Studio stamp and used that distress stain ink pad to just randomly place a few of those all along the layout. I just love when, sorry, excuse my big head there. I really love stamps for this reason. You can just add punches of color wherever you need to on a layout, and that's one thing I really enjoy about having stamps, and that little random design was perfect for it. So this is basically it. I think I add at the very end, it drove me crazy that it just said 6, 7, and 8. I wanted to add 6th, 7th, and 8th, so I had some My Mind's Eye stickers where I added that. But that's basically it for today. It's fun if you're in a little bit of a creative rut. A challenge is always a good way to get your mojo going, so I encourage you to give those a try. Be sure to stop by the Hip Kit Club Facebook group for National Scrapbook Day this weekend. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. And there's the backwards A+, and in a minute you will see the corrected layout with, there we go, A+. Thanks again. Please subscribe.